Every doctor who advised me to change my eating habits is gone now. Every one of them. I had a physician in 1978 who suggested I stop cooking with olive oil because it contained too much fat. He passed away in 1991. Heart attack. I had another specialist in 1985 who recommended I eat more margarine because it was better than butter. He passed away in 2003. Also a heart attack. I had a nutrition expert in 1992 who advised me to eat less salt and more packaged low-sodium foods. She is gone too. I do not know the reason, but she is gone and I am still here, still preparing my own meals, still walking to the market, still standing in my kitchen every single day, making dishes from scratch, the way my mother showed me and her mother showed her. And I am going to explain exactly what I eat because many of you are harming yourselves with what you put in your mouths and you do not even realize it. I arrived in this country in 1947. I was 23 years old. I came from Calabria, the poorest region of Italy, the place nobody mentions when they talk about Italian cuisine. We did not have wealth. We did not have elegant restaurants. What we had was the food we grew ourselves and the recipes our mothers passed down. And those recipes kept my grandparents alive into their 90s, kept my mother alive until 94, and have kept me alive longer than anyone in my family expected in a country that has tried very hard to destroy me with its food. I watch what Americans eat, and I feel like crying. I see young people consuming things that are not real food, things that arrive in bags and boxes and contain ingredients you cannot pronounce. I see them drinking chemicals and calling it diet soda. I see them eating bread that could survive a nuclear disaster because it is packed with preservatives. This is not food. This is poison disguised as convenience. And then these same people ask why they are exhausted all the time, why they are sick constantly, why they feel old at 40. I am going to tell you about 10 foods. These are the foods that have kept me alive. Not pills, not supplements, not whatever nonsense they advertise on television at 3 in the morning. Real food. The kind my mother prepared for me. The kind I fed to my children and my grandchildren. The kind that human beings have eaten for thousands of years before some corporation decided it could make more profit selling you garbage. The first one is olive oil. Real olive oil. Extra virgin. Cold pressed. The kind that tastes green and slightly peppery and burns a little in the back of your throat. Not that clear yellow liquid they sell in supermarkets for $4. That is not olive oil. That is fraud inside a bottle. Real olive oil is the base of everything I cook. I use it every single day. I put it on bread. I cook my vegetables in it. I drizzle it on soup before I eat it. My mother used to say that olive oil is liquid gold. She was correct. It keeps your blood clean. It keeps your brain working. There is a reason the people who live the longest in the world come from regions where olive oil is in everything. The studies show that people who eat the most olive oil live almost 10 years longer than people who do not. 10 years. That is not small. That is 10 more years of watching your grandchildren grow. The second food is beans. Every type of bean, white beans, black beans, lentils, chickpeas. I eat beans almost every day in soups, in salads, mashed with garlic and olive oil. My mother made pasta e fagioli every week. Pasta with beans. Poor people food, peasant food, the food of people who could not afford meat. And do you know something? Those peasants outlived the rich people who ate steak every evening. Beans contain protein. They contain fiber. They fill you up without making you sick. Every single place in the world where people live past 100, they eat beans daily. The scientists call these places blue zones. I call them places where people have not forgotten how to eat correctly. The third food is leafy greens, not iceberg lettuce. That is nothing. That is water shaped like a vegetable. I am talking about real greens. Spinach, kale, escarole, broccoli rabe, Swiss chard. When I was a young girl in Italy, we would pick wild greens from the hillsides. Dandelion greens. We would saute them in olive oil with garlic and a little crushed red pepper. People today think of dandelions as weeds. We thought of them as medicine because that is what they are. Greens clean your blood. They keep your bones strong. They keep your mind sharp. I eat greens every single day. If the only vegetable you eat is French fries, you are not eating vegetables. The fourth food is garlic. I add garlic to almost everything I cook. Raw garlic, roasted garlic, garlic sautéed in olive oil until it becomes golden. My husband Enzo used to joke that I was trying to keep vampires away. Maybe I was. Maybe the vampires are all the illnesses that come for you when you grow old. Heart disease, cancer, dementia. Garlic keeps them away. The scientists now understand what my grandmother knew 100 years ago. Garlic contains compounds that fight infection, that lower blood pressure, that protect your heart. 1 clove of garlic has more medicine in it than many pills, and it tastes better. The fifth food is tomatoes. Cooked tomatoes, not raw ones. When you cook tomatoes, especially in olive oil, you release something called lycopene. I did not know that word until my grandson explained it to me. but I understood the truth of it long before I knew the science. Cooked tomatoes are in almost everything. In Italian cooking, my sauce, my soups, my stews. I make a simple dish of eggs poached in tomato sauce that my children used to beg for. Tomatoes protect your heart. They protect your eyes. They protect against certain cancers, and they cost almost nothing. You can buy a can of good Italian tomatoes for $2. There is no excuse. The sixth food is nuts. Every day I eat a handful of nuts. Almonds mostly. Sometimes walnuts. My mother kept a bowl of nuts on the table, and we would crack them ourselves. Not the roasted salted nuts they sell in stores covered in chemicals. Raw nuts or lightly toasted. Nuts contain fat. Yes, good fat. The kind your brain needs to keep working. The studies show that people who eat nuts every day live 2 to 3 years longer than people who do not. 2 to 3 years for a handful of almonds. Why would you not do this? The seventh food is whole grains. Real bread. Pasta made from real flour, not the white, bleached, processed stuff they sell everywhere. When I first came to this country, the bread tasted different. Then they started doing things to it to make it last longer on shelves. They removed everything good and left only the garbage. I make my own bread, sometimes whole wheat, sometimes sourdough. The bread my mother used to bake. Real bread fills you up. It gives you energy that lasts longer. It does not spike your blood sugar and then crash an hour later. I have watched this country become addicted to fake bread and then wonder why everyone is diabetic. The eighth food is fish. I eat fish 2 or 3 times a week. Small fish mostly. Sardines, anchovies, mackerel. The fish nobody wants because they have bones and smell strong. Those are the best fish. The fish full of oils that keep your brain working. My husband Enzo loves sardines. We would eat them on crusty bread with a little lemon and olive oil. Simple, perfect. Good fish is difficult to find in this country now. They farm it in tanks and feed it garbage. If you can find wild fish, eat it. Your brain will thank you when you grow old and can still remember your own name. The ninth food is wine. Red wine. 1 glass with dinner. Not a bottle. 1 glass. I have had a glass of red wine with dinner almost every evening of my adult life. Doctors used to tell me to stop drinking it. Now they tell me it was the right thing all along. Red wine has something in it that protects your heart and your blood vessels, but only if you drink a little. If you drink too much, it does the opposite. This is the problem with Americans. You do not understand moderation. Everything is too much or nothing at all. 1 glass of wine with your meal. That is enough. The 10th food is fresh fruit. Every day I eat fruit. An orange, some berries, a pear, figs when they're in season. Fruit is sweet, but it is not the same sweetness as candy or cake. The sweetness comes with fiber, vitamins, and water. It fills you up. It satisfies the craving for something sweet without poisoning your body. When my children were young, fruit was their dessert. They did not know there was another option because I never told them. They're all in their 60s and 70s now, the ones still alive, and they still eat fruit for dessert. This is how you teach children to eat properly. You do not give them a choice between apple and cookie. You give them the apple. So there it is. Olive oil, beans, leafy greens, garlic, tomatoes, nuts, whole grains, fish, wine, fruit, 10 foods. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive, nothing that requires a subscription or special delivery or a machine that costs $300. Just real food. The kind of food human beings have eaten for thousands of years. The kind of food my mother and her mother and her mother ate. But I must tell you something else because food is only part of it. I have watched people eat perfectly and still die young because they were miserable. I have watched people eat terribly and live long because they had something to live for. Food matters, but it is not everything. You have to move your body. I walked everywhere my entire life. I did not go to a gym. I walked to the market. I walked to church. I climbed the stairs to my apartment because the elevator was broken half the time. I stood in my kitchen cooking for hours. This is not exercise the way you imagine it, but it is movement. Constant movement every single day. My daughter Maria died of breast cancer in 2004. She was 58. My son Anthony died of colon cancer in 2012. He was 62. My son Vincent died in a car accident in 2019. He was 68. 3 funerals where I was the mother standing at the grave. I thought each one would destroy me. They did not. I kept cooking. I kept eating. I kept walking to the market. Not because I wanted to, because that is what you do. You continue living. There is no other choice. I am 101 years old. I have been cooking in this kitchen for more than 50 years, longer than many of you have been alive. I came to this country with nothing but 2 suitcases and my mother's recipes. I raised 5 children in a small 2-bedroom apartment. I lost my husband 26 years ago. I have 14 grandchildren and 21 great-grandchildren. I still live alone. I still cook my meals. I still walk to the market every day, even when my knees hurt so badly I want to scream, because stopping is dying and I am not ready to die. I am telling you this because I want you to understand something. Living this long is not about avoiding death. It is about living, really living, every day. Eating food that tastes good and is good for you. Moving your body because it feels good to move. Being with people because people are what make life worth living. Having something to do that matters to you. Your body was not made to sit in a chair for 8 hours and then sit on a couch for 4 more hours. Your body was made to move. If you do not use it, you lose it. Take this advice or ignore it. But do not say nobody told you, because now you know. And now, if you will excuse me, I have soup on the stove.